Good afternoon, I'm Reggie Aki.
And I'm Stephanie Strickland, batting down the hatches. If you haven't been outside, then you might not know just how dangerously windy it is in so many locations.
We're talking about tipped over trailers, down trees, and gusts in the gorge powerful enough to knock you over. Our First Alert Storm Team coverage begins with our Erica Hartquist. She is standing where a semi couldn't even hold its own against these strong winds. Erica?
Yeah, that's right, Reggie. Steph, OSP at this time is not allowing any oversized loads along southbound I-205 here over the Glen Jackson Bridge, and that is because of this. Take a look what happened this afternoon. High winds tipped this mobile home and its trailer over around 1 o'clock. Now, the home was resting on the outside guardrail of the southbound lanes, and crews had to make sure it didn't go over that guardrail. The driver was taking the home from Vancouver to Milton Freewater when he heard the sound of metal scraping.
When I looked in my rearview mirror, I could see it was tipping over about a 45-degree angle. And this one actually came out pretty good. I've seen them tip completely over, and I'm thankful I locked my safety latch on the hitch this morning. Otherwise, it would have come off and gone over anyway.
Now, no one was hurt. There was minor damage to the home. WSP made sure that his brakes were okay, and then off he went. It took a while for the southbound traffic to clear up here along I-205, so if you were in that traffic this afternoon, that's why. Back to you.
Erica, thank you so much. Amazing pictures. You know, winds whipping through a Milwaukie neighborhood this afternoon knocked a good-sized tree over, crushing the hood of that car there. The owner says he's thankful because the tree just missed his dad's car as his dad pulled out of the driveway.
First thing that always comes through my mind is the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
If it is this windy in the city, imagine what it's like in the gorge. Actually, you don't have to. Mark Hammerhan is up there at Vista House. Mark, our cameras all over the place, and so are you.
Yeah, Reggie, I tell you what, when those east winds come off the Columbia and hit you, it literally knocks you off your feet at a time. Those gusts, it seems like they come out of nowhere. You can see some folks right here coming up and trying to enjoy it. It really is impressive just to feel how powerful the gusts can be. Well, here's some video that gives you a good idea of that. The winds were strong enough to push this guy uphill on his skateboard. As you might imagine, it wasn't as easy coming back down. Meanwhile, the blustery conditions made for some pretty big whitecaps in the Columbia today. Too dangerous for windsurfers at Rooster Rock State Park, workers say. Back up at the Vista House, one visitor gave us his very unscientific estimation on just how windy it was today.
It's pretty windy when it's knocking over a 350-pound gentleman like myself. That takes a pretty good gust. You know, it's a beautiful day, but that's got a nice bite to it. It's cutting right through the clothes. We're ready to get out of here.
In all seriousness, if you do come up here today, be careful. We did see one older gentleman take a spill on the steps of the Vista House. He got hit by a gust of wind and was simply knocked over. Also, worth mentioning, when you come up here, dress warm. Don't be fooled by the sun. It certainly is cooled with the wind, and don't forget your gloves like I did. Reggie, Steph, back to you.
Mark Hanrahan has very good balance. Thank you, Mark. All right, so Matt Safino, you heard the kind of unofficial estimation of what the wind was like. What's the official?
I'll tell you what, we have very, very powerful gusts for the second time this week. Our Skycam showing the clear sky, and they're getting knocked around by that wind. And we'll come back to the wind advisory that we have over the region right now, but I want to start you out with those big wind gusts that we saw during the day today. And of course, Crown Point, as usual, leading the pack, a gust of 69. Remember, earlier in the week, we had a gust of 85, so not quite as strong as that, but still very strong with sustained winds between 30 and 35 all day long, and that is a very powerful sustained wind at that range. Corbett had a gust of 69, the Portland Airport 41, and that's probably close to the gust that knocked over that tractor or that truck on I-205 and the Glen Jackson Bridge, and Rooster Rock a gust of 49, so you can imagine why the windsurfers are not out there this afternoon. Finally, up at Timberline, a beautiful look. The winds are raging through the passes too. We've got a time lapse of those clouds there. You're going to want to see that. Have that for you a little bit later on. And finally, we are under a wind advisory in the Portland and Vancouver area, as you can see, until 8 o'clock tonight. The winds will back off slightly tonight, but look for a day tomorrow very much like today, and we'll talk about the weekend too a little bit later, guys. Back to you.